Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jared Lee, and I'm joined, as usual, by my lovely wife, Jamie Lee. So, Jamie, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, Jared. How are you?
I'm good, and I'll just let everybody know Florida has regained its weather. I don't know what happened to it for a while there. It felt like I was in the Midwest again, but it has been 60 degrees the past couple of days.
Or 70, even 70.
Yeah, I just went outside yesterday. I went out in the garage. There was sunshine. I wasn't freezing. I just sat outside. I was like, I'm just going to enjoy this. So I suppose the cold and it not only was the cold, it was like cloudy. Everything was just very like dreary. So
for a while.
Yeah. Florida, listen, Florida's not built for that type of weather.
We're not built for that either.
If Florida was a person, they would be not doing well during that time period. So I'm glad to see that the weather's back. Although I hear it may get cold again, but
you know, it's finicky in January and February here. It's finicky. It could be hot. It could be cold.
Yes.
You know.
By the way, at least if there's sunlight, that can make me happy. It was just the lack of sunlight. But yeah. So in terms of that, doing much better with the weather. In case anybody was wondering how Florida was holding up, it's improving, at least in our area. So that's good.
Well, when we were at Disney last week, it was 40, low 40s for the highs. And then when we go
drizzling, which is worse.
But this weekend we'll be at Disney. It's going to be like the high of like 80 and sunny. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. See, the drizzling thing, it's kind of like I would rather be punched versus slapped.
Ooh.
Like in terms of general, like if I had to choose one, what I'm saying, like drizzling is like it's slapping you constantly in the face. Like when it's cold too. Like I would rather just have a downpour of rain versus this slight drizzle because you end up just as wet.
Okay.
Like when you're out in it for a while and all of a sudden you're like, oh, my shoes are wet. Everything's wet and now I'm colder. Like it's the worst. I would rather just pour down rain and not deal with that. But
I'll remember just to punch you. Just get it
honestly,
over with.
Yes.
I'll just punch you.
If I had to have a choice,
Jared, I'm gonna punch you. No.
This is why when people dueled back in the day and they slapped them, they dueled because they were so like, how dare you slap me? But,
dare you?
Yeah, but well, we do have a Club 32 meetup coming up this weekend.
I'm so excited. It'll be so fun to see everybody and do all the things. We're doing a fireworks cruise for Magic Kingdom, which.
I was going to say, what does do all the things mean?
Do all the things. That's one of them.
Oh, okay.
I'll ride all the rides and eat all the food and enjoy the festival. And I'm excited to see everybody. It's always fun. It's always fun just to get together a couple times a year and do this. So
yes, slap hands and say hello.
Hello.
Yes, so it'll be a good time. So hopefully the weather holds up and everything like that. But we do have a little bit of news that we're going to talk about today, and then we have not a news that kind of like a reoccurring thing. So we have some overheard in the parks.
Overheard.
So things that, sometimes people, you do hear some wild things in the parks from time to time.
And we're talking about from the guests.
Yeah.
Other guests. Yeah. Like what other guests are saying. You're just going, huh.
Yeah. So we have some things from Club 32 members. Then we also found some stuff on Reddit that you've overheard. So it's going to be a fun segment just to talk about that. And who knows where it goes. I've heard some things as well. I'll bring up a couple things I've heard because it makes you wonder, like, how did you get here? And what are you doing right now?
Did you not research before you left?
Well, that's a whole thing, I suppose.
Because there's a lot of people that don't.
Those people don't listen to this show because they come prepared.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
But before we get to the news, just want to remind everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not watching us on YouTube and you would like to, you can find us over there on, you guessed it, YouTube, at CTM Podcast. We have video versions of the show and show clips over there, so you can go check that out. And of course, if you're listening on good old trusty audio podcast form, that's never dreary, always sunny. You can subscribe on all the major ones that are out there, all the ones I'm aware of, and ask you to please subscribe there and leave us a review. We'd greatly appreciate that as it helps us continue to grow the show. And of course, if you are looking for some great t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, or just want to contribute to the show or just get something to wear into the parks, you can go check out Capture the Magic Apparel. And that's over at ctmapparelco.com. And we have all the shirts there that we print in-house, we design in-house, and we ship out to you on the most comfortable shirts that you can find. I went through all the shirts meticulously, and I actually am very picky about shirts. So our shirts are very comfortable because I don't like scratchy, just uncomfortable shirts. So we always make sure that they're very comfortable, unless you request a scratchy shirt, and then we will do it for you. But by default, we don't do that. But we do have some new designs up in the shop. We have
that was a good save.
I'm just saying, if people want it,
She
they can
want it.
have it. But I typically do not do that. But we have a new Jack Sparrow design you can catch up in the shop.
Yep.
And you can go over there. We have some new ones in there. We're always adding new stuff to the shop. But for a limited time, you can still get 20% off of your order by using the promo code New Year, because technically it's still January. So it's still New Year's technically. So you can, again, use the promo code New Year. They get you 20% off of your order. Plus, if you order over $50 on your order, you get free shipping on top of that. So you can get some good savings there. So again, go to ctmapparelco.com and use the promo code New Year to get 20% off your order. So, all right, let's get into the news.
Okay.
So we have a final closing date for Muppet Vision 3D that is going to make way for Monsters, Inc. Land. So the Muppets people, although they knew this was coming.
The Muppets people.
Well, I mean, that's what I call them. The Muppet contention, if you, is it a contention?
The Muppet stands.
The Muppet congregation. They're not going to be, they knew this was coming, but got a final date on everything that's happening.
Yeah, so Muppet Vision 3D, its last day of shows is going to be June 7th. Along with Pizza Rizzo, it's going to close its doors of serving that okay rat pizza on June 7th as well.
Goodness.
And then Mama Melrose Ristorante Italiano's last day is May 10th.
Yes.
So making way for that construction to kind of
Although
start.
it's happening, that's quicker than I thought it would be. I kind of figured
did you
Muppet Vision would be open the rest of the year. Well, I kind of wonder because they are extending. I mean, the actual Doors ride is going to be in the parking lot where what is now.
it's gonna be in the
Yeah.
back. Okay.
I kind of thought they would start in the parking lot, work their way forward, and that way it can stay open longer. Because the only thing I mentioned about that is they didn't say a date on when Rock and Roller Coaster was going to get its theme over to Muppets.
Right.
But so that's coming. Now, I don't think that one is going to be like a long refurb because they're more than likely just going to put up like a new video and just change out some props. I don't think they're going to change that ride or do anything major to it. But, Hollywood Studios is already a park that has issues with wait times as it is. So I kind of figured they would leave open Muppet Vision 3D as long as they could to help alleviate that issue. But they are closing it down June 7th.
Honestly, though, well, yeah, you're right. Because, I mean, it's very hot in the summer. So Muppets, even if you are just not really interested in doing Muppets, even if you are not a really big fan, you can still go in there and get some AC and chill. So yeah, that is kind of surprising, I guess. But maybe it has to do with, the way they're having to work in phases. Because, I mean, this will become one of like a show for the new land. So they do have to do that for Muppets. And, so maybe they're just trying to be proactive. It'll be weird to like walk down Grand Avenue and just look over and see it's like, no, everything's closed. It's gone.
Yeah.
It'll be weird.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, we'll see. I mean, a lot of construction going on all over property. Tons of...
Oh, my gosh. Refurbishment galore.
Yeah, there's Astro Orbiter is completely... I mean, it's been taken apart at this point. That's getting a refurb. Obviously, Big Thunder Mountain is going to be down for a year and a half. You've got, I think you also have the Grand Fiesta Tour in Epcot is down for refurb currently. There's obviously you've got Test Track. There's a lot of stuff being refurbed and changed right now. I hope the construction moves quickly.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of motivation to do that. So we'll see how the construction goes there. But that is, if you want to do Muppet Vision 3D, I always slow. If you want to do Muppet Vision 3D, I have to slow down to say that. I've noticed.
Muppet Vision.
I kind of want to run it all together and say Muppet Vision 3D. If you want to do that, obviously the last day to do that is going to be June 7th.
But Disney did say that they will preserve this video, the Muppet Vision 3D video, for generations to enjoy for a long time. And they didn't say in what capacity that meant, but I'm guessing they'll put it in like the Shorts Theater. So you can just watch it.
Well, they've changed.
Or something like that.
Initially, they had said, we will look into ways to preserve this. And then they changed that when they announced this closure, saying they were going to preserve it for generations to come. Now, what that means...
Disney Plus.
It's possible.
Disney Plus.
I mean, there are options. I mean, Disney Plus is kind of the least they could do. I mean, again, I think the reason it's important, it is the last project Jim Henson worked on before he died. So that is a major aspect of this. And then, the Muppets, since he died, have not been as popular. I mean, I don't think that's any breaking news, nor has Kermit's voice been quite the same since then. But they could put it on Disney Plus. I've said all along they very well could move it, where the Muppet ride is going back in Rock and Roller Coaster, where you had the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy. That is where the Villains Land or Villains Show is going to be for a few years. They could put it in that building once that show runs its course, because you could kind of have a new makeshift Muppet courtyard back there and put it there. Like you said, they could put it in Epcot over there in the theater there. Like, there's options they could do. I do hope I do hope it does have a presence in the park on some level. I think that would be a good thing. And I think if you're a Muppets fan, it's a pretty good compromise, because Muppet Courtyard's it's been rumored to be going away for a while. It's not a heavily trafficked part of the park. So, but I do hope that film is preserved in some ways. It seems like from their wording it will be. Yeah. They just didn't give any details on what that would be. But we'll have to wait and see on that one.
This is true.
Yeah. So, all right, the next story is we have the full lineup for the Garden Rocks concert series. It's been released.
Why do you say it like that every time?
Because I have some friends that live in Boston. Every time I see Rocks, they always say, going to rock concert.
Oh my god!
Are you going to the party?
Garden Rocks.
I don't know. It's probably I don't know why I do it. Fine. The Garden Rocks concert series that has been announced.
So last week we announced that they were going to be releasing the dining packages for the Garden Rocks concert series at Flower and Garden Festival. They're going to be releasing that on the 29th, which, as we're recording this, that is today. They finally released the full slate of performers on Monday, just in the nick of time. So,
although there are still some TBDs.
There's like a few. I think there's one.
Baha Men still have a shot.
They still have a shot.
They're waiting. Still have a shot. I feel like they're waiting by the phone.
So we previously knew all of March, but we did not know April or May. So real quick, March, Tommy DiCarlo, former lead singer of Boston, Air Supply, Blue October, Rick Springfield, Hermits, starring Peter Noon, 38 Special, Jason Sheff, longtime singer of Chicago. March 30th to 31st is TBD. We don't know.
That's a good band. I've heard of them.
TBD is awesome.
They're really good.
April 4th through 5th is the orchestra starring ELO. I don't know how to say that. Okay.
I don't know.
Sugar Ray, Simple Plan, Joe D. Messina, Mike, I don't know, Del Giddis.
Let me try this.
Okay.
Mike Del Giddis.
Okay, great.
I'm guessing.
A Flock of Seagulls.
Flock of Seagulls.
Taylor Dane, 98 Degrees.
It's gonna get real Lachey out in here.
Real Lachey. Plain White Tees, John Cicada, Maverick City Music.
I like Maverick City Music. They're good.
It's a new one this year. Okay, that's cool. The Spinners, the Pointer Sisters, the Outlaws, also new this year. Who are the Outlaws?
They're Outlaws. I don't know.
Okay, great.
I actually don't know.
Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles, the Cat Empire, also new, and We the Kingdom, also new.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of people I don't really know, but that is an option if you want to do a package. The most, I want to say the most popular ones are like 90 Degrees will be popular. Plain White Tees will be popular. Maybe Flock of Seagulls. Simple Plan will probably be popular.
Flock of Seagulls always reminds me of
Air Supply, maybe Rick Springfield.
Wedding Singer.
Oh, yes.
And Plain White Tees reminds me. I had a friend that his girlfriend broke up with him. And he decided the best thing to do was, what was the song? Hey Delilah.
Yep.
He recorded himself playing Hey Delilah for her, and I was like, don't do that. Don't send that. Don't do it. And he did it. And
how'd that go?
He ended up regretting doing that.
Okay.
I remember we're all just like, don't do that. I understand this is tough, but don't go through with this.
You're like, bro.
He did. Yeah.
Sometimes you feel really hard when you're younger. You think it's the end of the world. And you got to do the sentimental thing. And
sometimes it's good to take a week. Take a beat.
Take a beat.
Like, should I send on this? Let's wait. Let's see if future me is going to agree with current me.
It's like Pam does with Michael Scott, where she doesn't put someone through the first time and gives them a second try. It's usually better the second time, where he's like, how is it? How's real estate? Is it real good? She's like, it's still me.
I mean,
let me put you on with Michael. And he's like, okay, how you doing? And it's like, great. Perfect. This is the second try.
Give you a practice run.
Run. Yeah. That's right. Anyway, that's it.
Well, thank you for that rendition of The Office. I appreciate
Thanks.
that.
Thanks. No,
it's a great show.
I do like that show.
It's a good one. And the last story we have is you can celebrate Soulfully, which is back for Black History Month this February.
Yes. So a couple of things that they announced about that we'll be doing in February is that, let's see, Tamron Hall from, I want to say wouldn't she used to be on Good Morning America?
I can't say I've ever.
I can't remember. She's like a journalist and talk show host. She'll be at the parade. I guess it's the Festival Fantasy Parade on February 1st. Like riding the parade as the Grand Marshal. So you can see her there. You can check out some artwork from talented artists like Ernest Shaw, Nika Jones, Nardstar, and Marcy Sweat. We've got
Sweat?
No. Marcy.
Is that Keith Sweat's like related to Keith Sweat?
I don't think so. Hers is ETT.
I say we bring in Keith Sweat.
Okay.
Just saying.
There's a mini black artist that will be present at the festival, and Disney Broadway and concert series. We have Jelani Remy from The Lion King, Alton Fitzgerald White from The Lion King, and Michael James Scott Aladdin, and Kissy Simmons from The Lion King, and they'll be there too. They have a bunch of like food offerings. I say a bunch, there's a few. So like there's going to be a new blackened salmon with plant-based hot Italian sausage bean ragu. And that's basically available across the resort hotels this February. And a new peach cobbler. Do you like peach?
I hate peach.
Okay. Well, it's a cinnamon panna cotta, peach cobbler, brown sugar streusel, and whipped cream with chocolate piece. And this is available at the resort hotels and Hollywood Studios. So that's also new. So yeah, just a couple things going on for Celebrate Soulfully this month. So there you go.
Imagine all of that.
Peach cobbler looked good though.
With Keith Sweat's "Don't Stop Your Love" going. That's all I'm saying.
Remind me what songs he sings again?
I mean, it's one you hear the names. It's more like if you hear the songs, you got like "Don't Stop Your Love."
Yeah.
I Want Her. Make It Forever. Listen, Make It Last Forever. Excuse me. He's a very soulful man. Okay. I think he's still around. Listen, the last name Sweat
got me. I'm
got
getting
me
mixed up with somebody else in my head, I think.
Casey and JoJo.
I don't want to sing because I don't want to like, whatever, but.
Do you think your singing is so spot on that you're going to get hit with copyright?
You know.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
I love you, babe. That's him.
I enjoyed the
Got me
confidence.
Twisted over. I do remember that song.
Twisted's a good one. Yeah.
Twisted. Okay.
I do like the confidence. You're like, if I sing, they are going to copyright us.
I don't know.
Because if I sing, there's no way. They're going to be like, what is that?
Listen, I stopped singing on the live streams we do for Club 32 because we kept getting copyrighted for them.
Was it for the singing?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm not the best singer.
That was also,
I'm not saying I'm
that's
great.
also like
I'm
Facebook.
And I'm just saying like, okay, they flagged it or whatever. So
Facebook
I'm at least a little
Facebook will also flag you in like other countries. They'll be like, you've been blocked in like some random country for a song that wasn't playing. And it was like, that's weird.
That's nice.
Anyways.
Well, that doesn't make me feel better about my singing abilities, but thank you.
No, it should.
Okay.
If anybody has a shot at getting copyright hit for singing, it's you over me. If that makes you feel any better.
That does make me feel better.
Okay. Well, there you go.
One other story I did not put in here because we weren't going to really list what's available, but Valentine's Day is coming up in a couple weeks, and there's a whole slew of Valentine's Day treats you can get across the resort and the parks. So, just FYI.
Also, Valentine's Day, Keith Sweat.
Listen.
I'm here to help.
Maybe it's his time. It's his time.
Now that it just randomly popped in my head, I'm just going to go with Keith Sweat.
Why isn't he at Flower and Garden Festival?
He should be
performing. Does he perform anymore?
I have no clue at the whereabouts of Kenneth Sweat.
Kenneth.
I have no idea.
That is my grandfather's name. Anyway, we're done with the news. That's it.
You want to go
we're just tangenting it up here.
You don't want to go into the Keith Sweat discography?
I don't think so. I think I want to stick with Disney stuff.
I think it would be a good time. But I also have a hidden news story I hid from you. Since you were hiding things from me. I'm not hiding things you hid a news story from me.
I just remembered it while I was talking.
Well, same with me.
Okay.
There was a slight change in the wording on the DAS policy.
I saw that.
Now, if you remember, obviously it's been met with a lot of people have not been happy, a lot of backlash, and caveat, like we've never used it. So we can't speak to how it works now versus how it used to work. But a lot of people who previously, were you could get the DAS pass have been denied, as the original language had said it was essentially only intended only for those with autism or other cognitive disabilities. They took out the word only. So it could possibly mean that it is going to loosen up, but it just could be them legal wise trying to cover themselves a bit more for some reason. So they haven't come out and said one or the other. People just noticed that wording was changed. So,
I mean, okay, I'll give you that. That does seem kind of significant. And the statement he's talking about is it used to say DIS is intended to accommodate only those guests who, due to a developmental disability like autism or similar, are unable to wait in a conventional queue for an extended period of time. Now it says DIS is intended to accommodate those guests, and they took out the only.
Right.
So I don't know. Do you think it'll open it up to
the
possibility of more people being included?
It's possible. I mean, if you look at the way the Disney system goes, it does, I suppose, because cast members are still the ones that make the final call on this.
Yeah.
They consult. I think they can consult with, they've got a third party in there they can consult with about it. I suppose it gives them more leeway, maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's not like they changed the verbiage of saying like other things were included. It just does not say only now, which does that word going out does change the scope of it potentially.
Yeah. So I was going to let you know, because I don't think you've listened to it, but my Trip Tales, where I guess went to Tokyo Disney, she actually described the process. And I won't go into the whole process, but they do have you have to have a doctor's note.
Yeah.
They require that. Whereas they don't require that here in Disney World. And they do have a version of it kind of at Universal.
Well, Universal's operates off of, there's
I know it's a whole thing.
It's a database thing. Anyways, it's like a nationwide thing you can get. But also you can go up day of at Universal and get like a disability pass the day of, and they're more lax with theirs. I don't think the day of you actually have to provide any evidence of anything. I think you can get it. But if you have that other pass, you automatically will just qualify for it.
Well, my point being, Disney is a huge company, but it's way different over Tokyo Disney. Plus, they don't even, Disney doesn't even own it.
Right.
So
Disney
it's
the company, does not run the Tokyo parks at all.
I'm just saying, I guess, it's just different wherever you go. So I'm sure it'll change and, adapt and I don't know.
Maybe.
You think?
Thus far, they haven't changed a thing about it. And they've gotten a lot of backlash about it.
Yeah, I guess not.
So this is the first, they changed this back in like May of last year, I think. So this is the first change they've made in any of the verbiage about it. So it could be something, it could absolutely be nothing, but I suppose we'll just see if people are getting approved for it more or it's the same. So
okay.
Who knows on that one. But either way, that'll be it though for the news.
Okay.
So we're going to move on to Overheard at Disney.
What'd you hear? Who'd you hear it from?
That was just this.
Were they saying that's crazy? No. It's funny.
Do you want me to put a beat to that?
No. Yeah, you hear stuff in the parks from other guests that are just make you go, huh? Or, huh?
I will just say, one time, I remember our son was real little, and I think he was upset. I was doing something. I think he was upset. And I was also trying to wrangle our daughter, too. I remember I had both the kids. It was just me, and it was one of those times where you're just like, it's chaos. And I remember somebody walked by in a group, and they went, yeah, we're going to go over here to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and then after that, we'll go into Harry Potter Land. And I went, oh, no. Like, those people are going to be in for a bad time.
Well, the first one that we're going to read is actually along the same lines as that.
I would say that's shockingly, that is probably a common thing that people probably say. But okay, what's the first one we got
Okay,
here?
so the first one, and these are from the Capture the Magic Community Facebook group. So Brandon, he said, while standing in line for Mickey and Minnie's, a woman is telling her family, as soon as we get off this ride, we will head over to the Harry Potter ride and then back to Star Wars.
That's a long trip.
You're going to be in the car for a while.
You could do that. I wouldn't say it's the most efficient, but
I'm just shocked at the amount of people that get confused. They think that it's just all in one theme park. Like, that means you didn't do any research. Like, you just showed up to the parks and just assumed. Like you didn't look into it.
Yeah, like the level of not paying attention has to be pretty heavy because it's not like the advertising is similar. I mean, if you look at any park maps or any attraction list, like it's not going to be on there. It's pretty clear that they're not related at all to each other. But I suppose people just hear in Orlando or something, but it is a common thing I've heard over the years of people, going to Disney. I don't think you hear it as much at Universal, like people going over to Universal and being like, let's go check out, Cinderella's Castle or something or Star Wars. But yeah, you will hear that. It's very interesting. I mean, you still to this day will get people. I mean, there's been stories out there of people paying for flights, hotels, and then showing up to buy their tickets the day of, and like it's a sold out day or something. And I'm always, I mean, first off, I mean that sucks at a personal level for those people when it happens. But how do you go that far with the planning and yet you don't go a little further?
Check. I mean, there's so much information out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
All right, the second one we have is from Martino. He overheard somebody saying, "We're going back to Rhode Island," while waiting in line at Deluxe Burger, listening to someone yelling at an employee.
We're going back to Rhode Island.
Those are like
that makes me laugh.
Those are the empty threats that sometimes parents will do of just like, "I'm going to turn the car around." I'm like, when you're 6 hours deep into a 10-hour car trip, I don't think you probably won't. If you did, I mean, that would be following through on a pretty big level.
You're like at that level where you're just like, I'm done. I'm done with this. Let's go.
We're going back to Rhode Island. Like, okay.
Allie said, "There goes Chip and Dip," instead of Chippendale. I think it's pretty funny.
Maybe there was Chip and Dip going by. You don't know that. They could have really liked Chip and Dip and somebody had it nearby.
Oh no, that's Chippendale. That's funny.
The Rescue Rangers.
That's so funny.
All right, Jessica says, "The ladies in front of us in Universal in the one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish rides said, sure, air travel is so cheap, it's basically free in Europe." Is that true? She says, "I wish." And yes, my subtle Northern Irish hubby set them right. She goes, "I was burst out laughing."
That's so funny. So obviously they were not from Europe. And they were just assuming because she's like, no, I don't think so.
I don't really feel like air travel is cheap anywhere.
I mean,
but I cannot speak to European air travel.
That's true. Sarah said, "Years ago when Fast Pass was a thing, I heard a mom tell her family they were leaving. She said, 'We already used our three passes. There's nothing left to do.'" I'm like, you can go more. You can do some more. You can wait in line if you want.
Maybe they did all they wanted to do.
That's just so funny. We already used our 3 passes. There's nothing left. That's it. I think what she's saying is she may have assumed that you had to have passes in order to ride a ride.
Possible. Or that you couldn't do more.
Yeah, but like, or you couldn't even get more, or like that was it. Which, again, it's very possible that she thought that way. But do your research.
It's very possible. Jennifer said, "We were walking by a Goofy meet and greet, and we heard this mom yell, 'No, you're not. Don't shoot Goofy.'" Agreed. Don't do that.
Don't do it. Like, what?
Maybe it was a fake one. I mean, she's looking out for Goofy.
That's true. Lauren said, "There's an app I need to download." Oh, dear.
Although, I do sympathize. I will say Disney is a complicated vacation.
It's true.
And if you don't, it's one of the only places that it's really difficult to just show up and have a good time. And I've talked about before, I don't like Universal nor Disney have moved in this direction of like, you have to have the app on your phone to really experience much. Now in Universal's defense, you don't. You can still kind of go in there and just do stuff. But Disney, it's going to be a really difficult trip if you don't have the app or a smartphone.
It makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
Still doable, but
that would be rough to find out during your trip that you need to download the app.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we have one from Alyssa. She says, "When I was a cast member and worked in Magic Kingdom back in 2016, I was asked numerous times by guests where the Harry Potter land was."
Yeah, again, it's so rampant. It's crazy. Okay, this is the last one from Facebook. So Nikki said, "In the pre-show at Haunted Mansion, a young girl, maybe 5 or 6, proclaims, 'That was terrifying. It's going to give me nightmares.' For the record, she was not crying or screaming. She just said it very matter-of-factly, which is why we laugh about it. And she's like, this started the trend of my daughter and I eavesdropping for hilarious things kids say on our trips, and it likely makes us horrible human beings. No, it doesn't, Nikki. We love you. But that's so funny.
Kids,
that was terrifying. It's going to give me nightmares.
I mean, kids say pretty funny stuff.
I mean, Harry Potter. Haunted Mansion is just, it's like funny, scary. Is it? I mean, like, would you call it scary? Is it scary?
I mean, when you're little, it's hard. I mean, I don't think it's scary, but it's part. It depends on your age. I could see like a smaller kid being a little iffy in there, but nothing like, it's not like anything like jumped out at you and stuff. But
yeah, I don't know. But that's it for the Facebook ones, and we're actually gonna go over to Reddit because I found some that were pretty funny.
All right.
Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, the first one we have is walking past what is now Runaway Railway, Mickey's Runaway Railway, which used to be the Great Movie Ride. Mm-hmm. And a mom said to her family, look, it's Mulan's castle. And still laugh. I mean, it is the Chinese theater. So
It is. I mean,
it's not,
kid's like, all right.
It's not way off. Maybe the kid really wanted to see a castle, and they were just like, here, look, there's Mulan's.
I thought that was funny. We were at Animal Kingdom just exiting the safari ride. Small child yells, oh my gosh, Mom, a squirrel. It's the best day ever. You just got on the safari and you get off and a squirrel excites you. That's kid behavior. That's full on kid. Like, I don't care about the lions, the giraffes, the rhinos. I want to see a squirrel.
I'm being honest here. I would rather watch a squirrel versus just a lion chilling.
I knew you were going to say something.
Squirrels move a lot. And they go get stuff, and they're constantly in motion.
They're everywhere, though.
Yeah, but you go by like giraffes and lions, they're just chilling.
Yeah, we're never gonna agree on how we feel about animals, so we can just move on.
You mean zoos?
We can just move on. Why don't you read the next one?
Next one is in line for Epcot's Skyliner after fireworks. Small child declares, "My feet hurt," and the mother replies, "You're in a stroller, Ava." That is a kid thing.
Such a kid thing. Like, you're not even standing or walking.
They get to be pushed around all day, and they still complain.
I can see her saying, "You're in a stroller, Ava."
I mean, you know, doesn't mean her feet still don't hurt, but I would like to be in an adult stroller, maybe. Okay. Somebody push me around. Okay. That's probably also called a wheelchair.
This one is funny. On It's a Small World a few weeks ago, I heard a boy say, "What? Another room with kicking dolls?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, they do kick a lot, don't they? There's a lot of kicking.
Listen, I've said many times, I understand The Small World. It's got historic attachments to Walt.
People love it.
All that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I have felt if you really wanted like information out of somebody, you just put them on there and said, we're not getting off till you tell me. They will tell you everything that they've ever done. Maybe even make things up just to get off of there. And I think that would be, the kicking and the music. We got stuck on it one time and they kept playing the music. You remember that?
I do remember.
And we were stuck in there for it was like 15 minutes. We just sat there with that music playing.
Yep.
And I did not have AirPods on me. And I was like, I am going to lose my mind.
You didn't have your AirPods. What did you do?
I slowly went into descent of madness is what I did. Ever so slowly. All right, next one is, my husband went to the bathroom near the front entrance to World Showcase and saw a little girl in there eating ice cream. Her father, an Italian man, comes out of the stall, knocks the treat out of her hand, picks her up almost violently, and starts washing her mouth and hands. He looks over to my husband, who is open-mouthed, staring at this point, and says, "She no have ice cream when we come in." Oh, geez.
Where did she get the ice cream? Oh my gosh.
Well,
she's just chilling eating ice cream.
That's one of those things,
a stranger, apparently.
That's one of those things too. Gosh. Like when you don't know, like in context of things, people are like, "What a terrible dad!" Be like,
"Oh, like no, he was trying to save her life.
Maybe.
That's what he was doing."
Well, I don't know if it was life and
who
death,
knows?
But
what if it's some who knows? Give her ice cream.
I don't think eating, even if it's trash ice cream, I don't think it's life and death, but I don't think it'd be
gross.
Gross, agreed. I'm not.
Yes. I think that's so funny. She didn't have ice cream when we came in. Oh, gross.
Our son would do that though. Like we'd be walking around,
for sure.
drop goldfish, and I'd be and he'd just grab it and just
for
put it back.
Sure.
Like, okay.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
This one's a deadpan Jungle Cruise skipper years ago said, "Welcome to Disney World, where 25-year-old theater majors come to die."
True. Probably true.
I was like, oh, man. I mean, yes, I think it's more so in like California and like Disneyland because it's in California. But yeah, I thought that was funny.
You probably do get more of the theater people out in California than Florida, but
That's
I
true.
suppose some. I mean, there have. Well, is there anybody been like a famous actor that was like skipper at Disney World? I'm sure Disneyland. There's been some.
Yes. Somebody was a Jungle Cruise skipper. At Disney World, though, I don't know if it was a Disney World or Disneyland. I'm not sure.
Apparently, the most famous one. It looks like it was Kevin Costner.
Yeah. And Robin Williams.
Yes, I think he was at Jungle Cruise as well.
But again, I think that was Disneyland.
Right, I'm pretty sure it was.
But Disney World, I don't know. But that's kind of fun. You get some talented people doing those jobs, especially. I mean, that's why they call them cast members. You're supposed to be like on stage. You know, you're performing, assuming all the time. So that makes sense.
True.
The last one is kind of just nice. It's homey. It's not really bad or anything.
All right, last one we have is maybe more wholesome than funny. Heard walking down Main Street. Lady says, "Why are you laughing?" And a man next to her said, "I just love it so much here."
That's nice.
That is nice.
It's just nice to hear too. So I wanted to end on a nice note.
I don't think any of those were bad though.
No, just funny. Overheard
Yeah.
at Disney, just like funny or like what? We can do this like periodically. I just thought it was kind of a fun one to do because we've had like a lot of reviews lately, and I was like, let's just decompress and talk about funny fun stuff.
Funny fun stuff.
Funny fun stuff.
I personally like the ice cream one. That one's pretty funny.
That's pretty fun.
As a dad, that is something that you just be like, you didn't have that when we came in here. Gross.
Yeah. And then you get, of course, there's cast members that'll say that people ask them all the time, "What time is the 3:00 parade?" And you're like, it's 3:00. 3:00 it is. 3 p.m.
Or what's the number for 911?
On the same kind of lines, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But these are fun.
I mean, it's possible with the little girl. I mean, there was one time I remember we were walking into Magic Kingdom. I remember it was one or two cast members came over, and they were just like, "Hey," and like they just gave our kids candy. They're like, "Would they like some candy?" And I was like, "Sure." Mm-hmm. So it's possible maybe a cast member gave her some ice cream. But in the dad's defense,
it's possible. But wouldn't the dad want to be there when they do that?
one would assume.
And they wouldn't do it in the bathroom.
Or maybe she was crafty and she paid for it. And she was like, "That was $19, Dad."
Yeah.
Down the drain. Although eating ice cream in the bathroom, that's also gross.
Right. There's a lot of questionable things that happen here.
Like,
yes.
I do not take food into the restroom.
No.
I feel like once it crosses that threshold, it's gross.
It's like Joey from Friends where he eats sandwiches in the shower.
That's disgusting.
Because Phoebe wanted to eat his sandwich.
But I guess it's like if it's your bathroom or your shower, that's one thing. But like a public restroom, no. Or even people that like you'll see it in the guys one that like they'll put a drink on top of the urinal. I'm like, disgusting.
Ew, that's so gross.
Gross.
Guys are gross.
Well, that's true. You're not going to find me arguing that point, but
all right.
all right. Well, that is all the Overheard at Disney's and all the show for today.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. So be sure to check us out on social media. We're at Cap the Magic everywhere, even TikTok, as long as it's still around. For as long as it is, or I don't know what's going to happen with it, but we're there. And again, you can also find video versions of the show over on YouTube at CTM Podcast, and you can find daily videos and construction updates for Epic Universe and things over on the Cap the Magic YouTube channel. I just had a Epic Universe construction update go out there. So as that park is opening in like 4 months, so construction is starting to wrap up and ramping up for that one there. So you can go over there, and we're almost at 10,000 subs over there, like 500 away. So if you haven't subscribed over there, go check it out.
So close.
So close, but so far away. And also be sure to check out some of the other shows on the Capture Magic Network. We have the CTM Universal show where we talk about Universal Studios. And that one is currently like twice a month. And as Epic Universe, probably as it gets closer, as for sure after Epic Universe opens, that will become a weekly show because there can be lots of things to discuss about brand new theme park and everything else going on there. So that will make a little change there. And we just had one come out where we reviewed Stella Nova. That's the newest hotel over there opening near Epic Universe. We did a full breakdown and review of there as we stayed there the second day it was open. So if you want to check that out, you can find this on this feed and also over on its own feed as well. And then Jamie also has Trip Tales, which is her trip report show.
Yes. A new one will be coming out in not this coming Monday, but the one after that.
Okay.
So.
All right. And of course, if you want to contribute to the show, if you want to, join a group to get some, good insights on trips, you want additional content, you can look at joining Club 32, and that's our private group, kind of like our own Patreon, but we just host it on our own end. We do weekly live streams in there. We'll do some live streams from periodically in the parks or like hotels. We did show like the Stella Nova room and things like that. We have the Clubhouse show that's been going in there. We have Cool Kids Kitchen. There's a private podcast feed. There is a private Facebook group, working on a Discord, getting set up for that as well. And then you also get year-round 20% off of CTM apparel and 1901 Candle Company products. And then we have meetups. Like I said, we got one coming up this week. We have 2 meetups a year. So that's always a fun thing to do. And again, it's a good group. If you're looking to go to the parks and, Universal or Disney, most people in that group go to the parks a lot. So you can ask questions about, opinions on what you should do, places to eat. Most people in there have eaten at all the places. So you can find somebody in there that
every place.
Yeah, that gets some opinions there. And it's a good group to interact with more and have some fun. So if you want to go join there, you go to ctmvip.com. We have monthly or yearly options, and we even have a free trial if you want to try it out before you start paying. And we also have, if you do a yearly option, you get a free t-shirt. So either way, you get something for free. So if you want to go check that out, be part of a great group, ctmvip.com is where you go for that. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening and or watching. And thank you, Jamie, for joining us.
I thank you.
And as Jamie always likes to say,
we will see you in the parks.
Bye.